What's up, guys? I'm Zachy J, and today we're going to be talking about the theoretical versus experiential. What is up with that? The theoretical versus embodiment. What is up with that? What is the difference? Well, there's a big difference, and there's a big importance to it, too. So, as you already know, the theoretical is what's information that looks like on paper, right? And the experiential is that when you take that information and you start to put it into practice. In spirituality, there's a lot of that going on because the path is pretty dang clear. The path is pretty dang clear, right? Do this, meditate a bit, do some breath work, soul search, right? What is it said? Find yourself? They tell you to find yourself somewhere? You know? And you can say, all you gotta do is that. You just gotta know thyself. And as soon as you know thyself, what happens? It unlocks the next level of you. It unlocks all these possibilities, all these potentials. And if you like to indulge in a little bit of them sutras, right? You like to read a little bit of esoteric texts from the East, you'll even understand that there's something called like what? Siddhas? Different pronunciations depending on Sanskrit or Pali, right? I'm not pronouncing them right either, but the main the main point of that is you unlock special gifts for yourself, right? The ability to see into the minds of other people, to understand the hearts of other people, to potentially the ability to have divine hearing, right? You can hear things that normally aren't heard, right? You can have a third eye, right? You can see things that normally are veiled and hidden since the foundation of mankind. That's right. That is the difference between the theoretical, because we all know we got to know thyself. We all know we got to get closer, build that relationship with the one truly. And for some reason, even though the path is super clear, people don't seem to be on it. They seem to be everywhere else, living in lands of distraction, living in times of attention where all the attention is everywhere but where it needs to be, right with you, right where you want it to be. You want to be living your story, and yet you're living in someone else's story and someone else's. And like Netflix is, you're living in a Netflix series, you're on a 12-hour binge as you finish this Netflix series, right? um, and we have to refocus. We have to be able to refocus on the experiential, because, and I don't want to use the term practical because it's a little bit separated from what needs to happen, right? Because life is not always practical, and we can't always be practical about it. Sometimes life just comes at you as an experience, and you're just supposed to feel the information. You can feel the information long enough, it becomes embodied in you. And once it becomes embodied, you get a little bit of thing called wisdom, and you get to do things with it, right? And the difference is if you see someone that's a carpenter, say they're just cutting up a board at a 45-degree angle, they're cutting it at an angle, right? It looks easy, right? Well, how about this? You see somebody rolling some sushi, right? It looks freaking easy. You're like, I know how to do that. You just roll the sushi, right? And for most people, that information they translate into I already can do that. I already can do that. I've seen it done before. It's basically like I've already done it. But then they start to roll the sushi and then they realize that they have fat fingers and what are they doing and how come the rice is sticky and wait, is it supposed to look like that? you know? So we have to take this approach and this understanding and turn it onto the path for our journey. And we have to be ready to humble enough to think to ourselves that, hey, you know what? Even if I am smart enough, and y'all are very smart, you can look at something and map out yourself into that situation. Your mirror neurons are firing, and they're telling you that, yes, I can do that thing. I've already seen it done. You still have to do it, right? You still have to chop the wood. You have to carry the water. You have to do the breath work. You have to do the meditation. And the reason behind it is what you get from it is yourself. You get to uncover what you haven't been, which is already there, but you might not have noticed, because all of spiritual information is not hidden. It's not hidden. Those answers are already there. They're always have been. And so I like to do. So when I was younger, I'd try to do a thought experiment about spirituality. I'm like, how would these masters, right? How would these sages and mystics and these Christ consciousnesses, how would they figure it all out, right? If you had to start from zero, you had to start from day one, and you had to build it up, right? For some reason, all spiritual content was wiped out today, and maybe you had an inclination in your heart that there was more to this than the AI generated algorithm that's laid out in front of you. How would you go about figuring out how to be spiritual? And so I looked at the world around me, and at the time I was walking around the city. I was in Miami, and I was walking around the city, and I was just like, okay, I'm in the streets right now, and how would I turn this experience into spiritual wisdom? There must be some tools that are embedded in the moment that allow us to do that, right? Is it a mantra? Is it a visualization? What could it be that allows us to unlock not only the next step, but the entirety of the path? And it has to be in the moment that you are in right now, too. Within the moment that you exist in right now, you can have access to the very tools that the mystics, the sages, the Christ consciousnesses have had, that not only show you the next step, but outline the entire path. And that really means that everything is accessible for you now if you can tune in instead of tune out. If you're tuning out into the world, looking and examining things out there, you're going to get a lot of knowledge. You're going to know how things work. And a little bit of that too definitely helps. Makes the process of operating in the 3D so much smoother, right? You actually know how to be capable. You actually know how to get things done. But you're the through line, no matter where you are, right? You're the through line. Maybe not the body, because the body shifts and changes, you know. Sometimes it gets sick, sometimes it's full of energy, sometimes it's sleepy. And but you're there. You're there throughout every single time, no matter what city or what forest you're in, no matter if you're going to go to sleep or you're awake, you're there. And so that means you're where it starts and you're where it ends. And being able to search within and find that space to notice that everything around you, while it's changing, every time you look around you, the wind blows the leaves and it's not the same scene. You can't step into the same river twice, right? All of that, it's all changing, but still there you are. There you are. Everywhere you go, there you'll be. And if that is the case, what are you going to do about it, right? And the only thing that is a framework that really allows you to grow is to truly be in the experience, to not tune out from it, to not look around and find out if there's an answer lying in wait underneath the next rock or over the next hill. No, it's tuning in as much as possible and turning on to the world around you. And how much can you turn on, right? How much can you be turned on to this world and tuned in? Are you able to sense with your inner ear, your third eye? Are they tingling? Is your spider senses tingling? Have you figured out you have spider senses? Have you touched your intuition today? Everything that is the through line, that is closest to the truth, will always be with you. And it has to be with you during the good times and the bad. It has to be with you when everything is confusing and when everything is pretty simple. So, how do we tune in to ourselves? Let's just do one thing at least. Let's give one bit of technique to tune in. You have your mindfulness techniques, right, which help you. You can one of my favorite ones, my favorite mindfulness technique that I actually learned in the dance world was learning how to see the world with new eyes. And how do we do that, right? Can you do a practical experiment with me? Let's try it, right? Let's pretend, zoom in, Let's pretend that we've just opened our eyes and we're newborns. And let's look around the world. What do you see? You probably don't know what it is because you're a newborn. There's no word for it. What is that? I don't know. What is that thing? What is that thing? I don't know what that is. It looks strange. Kind of looks beautiful. What is this? I don't know what that is. It looks strange. It looks cool. What does it feel like? What is that? Is that it's hard? It's yellow, and that's looks soft and green. And there's when I look directly up here, I can barely look at it. It's like my eyes can't really look at it that well. They want to close. And the world around me looks so strange and inviting. And that's an exercise that we can all take part of any given time, any given day. If you can turn on your imagination to full blast, you might be surprised about how the same setting that you've always encountered can look infinitely different. You can be in a room that you've been in countless times before, and for some reason, that room actually is giving you new information. New information. And maybe some of that information points back to you. So, yes, the difference between the theoretical and the experiential is your ability to take information and embody it and feel it. And when you can embody it and feel it, it actually becomes useful. It doesn't become something that it doesn't become something of a hold my beer moment. Let me try this backflip out. Like, no, you already have it in your bones. So, do what you want with that information. Hopefully, you use it to turn yourself on and figure out that the answer is always have resided within you, and that's always been with you. Because that's how much the universe cares. It sent you with a care package, sent you with a whole entire body down into this world so you could go figure it all out. And the path was already marked for you, it was already cleared. And all you had to do was enjoy your time walking it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Give me a like and subscribe if you can. I would deeply appreciate it. And guess what? We're all sharing consciousness together. So let's make this place a better one, okay? Let's make consciousness way better for everyone. Have a good rest of the day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.